All right, kids, time for another dad story. This is an Afghanistan story. And it's really not even my story. It's more of the story of the Chuck Norris of Afghanistan. At least that's the way I was introduced to him. So as I've mentioned in another video, I was the key leader engagement manager for our brigade colonel. So I went everywhere he went, took notes, helped prepare him, made sure he knew what he was getting into, and learning all the people that we would meet. And one of them was the deputy chief of police for the province, the Zabul province, where we were stationed. And this guy was an older gentleman, older in Afghanistan, it's relative. But he had the reputation of being the toughest guy around. And the stories that were told about him, that our interpreters would relay to us, there was a moment when his vehicle had been assaulted. It got blown up by an improvised explosive device, an IED, and he got this giant chunk of shrapnel in his gut. And he, rolled out of his truck, and his personal security detail took care of the bad guys. So he was grateful because the U.S. had trained up his personal security detail. So they killed the bad guys, drove him to the hospital. He got the care he needed. But he had this piece of metal that was like this big, like bigger than my fingers could hold, and that had been in his gut. And he kept that as a souvenir to pass around and show all of us baby Americans. Because remember, Afghanistan's been at war for 30 years at that point. So that's one story. And again, I got to hold that piece of metal. The blood was cleaned off. I was grateful. There's another story that he told where the Taliban had kidnapped his son and were threatening to kill his son if he didn't release some Taliban prisoners. And his response to that was to send out his personal security detail and round up all of the children of the community where the Taliban was hanging out, and brought them all together, and he, put them in a place, and he met up with the Taliban, and he said, if you kill my son, I will kill all of these children. And his son was released, and he released the children. But that is such a bold move. That is such an un-American move. Definitely a strongman tactic. And it worked, thank God, because he didn't have to kill a bunch of children, a la Anakin Skywalker or something like that. But it was just kind of a reflection of what the world can be like. It's like different things in different places, but in a war-torn nation, a place where people have been at war for over 30 years, entire generations growing up, trained on rifles, how to kill another man, that was just another day at the office for this man. So I pray things never go that way in our life. But I promise you, children, if anybody ever did anything to harm you, I have a role model.